Earthquakes are so frightening. I wonder what happened next. Oh my! I've got to get back to cooking dinner. Dear me! It's shaking! Ah! I'm so scared! Thank goodness, it was just a dream. You never know when a huge earthquake will come, so let's be well prepared.
Let's gain some insight on preparing for earthquakes from Professor Nobuo Fukuwa, professor at Nagoya University's Environmental Studies Department and head of the university's Disaster Mitigation Research Center. In the event of a very large Nankai Trough earthquake, not only will Hamamatsu be damaged, but a broad area between Kanagawa in the east and Kyushu in the west will also be hit. So it is necessary to take measures under the assumption that there will be no help from the outside. Hamamatsu is an extremely large city with different disaster severities and disaster types by location. Along the seacoast, there will be tsunamis. Due to the soft ground, the shaking will be very strong. In addition, there is a high risk of ground liquefaction. Similarly, next to rivers, the water is very dangerous, and there is also a high risk of ground liquefaction. In the mountains, there is a high chance of sediment disasters, such as landslides. It is important to be prepared in advance for becoming isolated, as there is a chance that the roads will be blocked. And in the downtown area, where there are more compact clusters of housing, emergency vehicles such as fire trucks and ambulances will be unable to get around if the roads become blocked. Signs fall down easily, concrete block walls as well. As such, it is particularly important that anti-seismic measures be taken in urban districts. It's important to keep in mind the dangers in each type of area and to try to live in a safer location. Many citizens may think that someone from City Hall will surely come and help us out if anything happens. But it is not possible to survive if one only relies on others. Consider first self-assistance, where you look out for your own life. Then, after securing your own safety, consider mutual assistance, where you help each other out in the community. It's important to think about this so you can make adequate preparations before a disaster occurs.
So, self-assistance is about looking out for my own life. Got it. But what exactly does that mean I can do? I can't think of anything offhand.
Large earthquakes can destroy peaceful lives in seconds. If you should experience one, it is essential that you be able to look out for your own life. This DVD will talk about what you can do at 3 different points in time: now, during, and after. Although this may be obvious, the most important part of self-assistance is to have a home that will not collapse. So, anti-seismic measures are most important. However, this can be rather difficult, and it may take some time to put into effect. Nevertheless, there is one thing that you can do immediately. Anchor your furniture so it will not fall over. This is inexpensive and can be done with a little effort. Please anchor the furniture in your home as soon as possible. for this is the best way to prevent injuries from falling furniture. You can only secure your evacuation route after you know that there will be no furniture blocking your way out. Another method is to have rooms with no furniture. Please take steps to make your rooms safe based on the situation in your home.
Miss Kubo, the most important aspect of self-assistance is to strengthen your home, so it's essential to take anti-seismic measures. Please take a look at this video.
It really makes a big difference to take anti-seismic measures, doesn't it?
Yes. However, it is best not to build in a dangerous location to begin with.
So, what should I do after I build an earthquake-resistant home? With that, let's go with our disaster prevention advisor, Mr. Endo, to visit the home of the Sonai family in town. This way, please. Hello there. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hello.
Since you were all coming today, we were having a family meeting on disaster prevention and talking about what measures we could take right now.
Oh, really?
Today, I'd like to do a disaster prevention assessment for your home.
Great. Please do so.
First of all, be sure not to place any tall furniture in the rooms where family members spend a lot of time. This includes the bedrooms. Please take a look at this video.
That's really scary!
Now, you know why it is so important to take measures against falling furniture. Now, let's actually go around together and secure the furniture and appliances.
Yes, let's do that.
First, let's anchor the kitchen cupboard.
The kitchen cupboard, huh?
In this way, use L-shaped and other braces to secure your furniture. Recently, gap furniture that fits perfectly in the gap between your existing furniture and the ceiling and stabilizes your furniture with its entire surface has come out. Please consider with your family whether to use it. If you cannot use L-shaped braces because it might violate your housing agreement, please use these sorts of extending bars along with stoppers to secure your furniture. Even after securing your cupboard, it's meaningless if all your tableware then comes falling out during the quake. Latches that automatically lock themselves when shaken are available, so please use them on your furniture. Make sure to attach safety straps or latches to bookshelves and to cabinets with hinged doors.
Next is the refrigerator.
All right.
Pass wall straps through the handles located on the upper part of the back of the fridge. Then, find wall posts or studs and anchor the wall straps securely.
Now we're all ready, no matter when an earthquake strikes us.
Next comes the TV.
Set your TV as low as you can to the ground and fasten it tightly to the TV stand with these kinds of braces and straps.
Dad, now we'll be fine even when we're playing video games.
Don't overdo it, son.
That's right.
Over here, please.
Oh my, Mrs. Sonai, isn't this dresser in a dangerous place? It would be terrible if it fell onto you. Help! I can't move! It hurts!
It would be terrible if you were pinned under a dresser like that.
For furniture that you stack up like these dressers, make sure to not only stabilize them with L-shaped braces, but also to connect the separate pieces with metal connecting braces. Besides kitchen cupboards, it is recommended that you use safety film to protect the insides of windows as well.
So, now you know how to anchor tall furniture and appliances, right? Wouldn't it be even safer if you had a fire extinguisher? In fact, I should get one for my home.
I recommend that you keep a large stock of supplies to prepare for widespread disasters. for you cannot expect external support in these cases. I'm sorry to say that the stockpile that the local government has secured is only moderate, and should something such as a very large Nankai Trough earthquake occur, it is likely that there will be no food or supplies provided for over a week. In particular, a lack of water is fatal. One person needs about 3 liters of water a day. That is 10 large PET bottles for 7 days. It will be very difficult to survive without that amount of water. Life in an evacuation area can be very harsh. So that you are able to take shelter in your home when possible, remember that it is very important to seismically reinforce your home and have a stockpile of food and other disaster prevention items such as portable toilets.
According to a survey by Hamamatsu City, emergency stockpiles of supplies like food and water have been prepared by only about 60% of households. It is important not only to depend on the supplies that the city has prepared, but also to build up your own stock of emergency supplies.
Mrs. Sonai, could you survive without going shopping for 7 days and without using any water or gas utilities?
I don't know. Let me just check the fridge.
When you talk about supplies, you might imagine things in the refrigerator. In addition, make sure to prepare more than 7 days' worth of instant noodles, canned food, and food in sealed packages, like curry. And make sure to restock whenever you eat any of the stocked food. This is called having a rolling stock. This is the recommended method of stockpiling.
This kind of stockpiling list helps too.
Oh, looks like we need to buy some extra gas cylinders for tabletop stove.
And having a cooler and some ice packs would be useful during power outages.
Also, when taking shelter in your own home, it would be best to prepare toilet bags, portable toilets, and more.
To be prepared for blackouts and cold weather, make sure you have a flashlight, portable radio, a pair of shoes or slippers, and warm clothing near your pillow when you go to bed at night.
Next, let's secure an evacuation route.
Please consider the placement of your furniture so that you can be sure you have a safe route to the outdoors through room doors, windows, and the front door. It is also important not to put things right around entrances or in hallways. The next case is when your home is in danger of collapsing or otherwise unsafe to live in, and you need to evacuate to an evacuation area. At this time, you'll want to prepare an emergency kit for each person. Make sure to have enough for all family members. It is easier to carry around the most lightweight food possible, such as dried food that is edible just by adding water, rather than heavy canned food. It is also good to split the kits up and keep them in several different places, such as your bedroom, the entranceway, and the living room.
When I get home, I'll buy and prepare my own supplies.
Hamamatsu City Disaster Prevention Memo. Please make use of the city's disaster prevention email service. This service provides emergency information for earthquakes and evacuation, as well as local area information and weather information via email to the cell phones of registered persons. You can register and choose what information you want to receive in the following way. To receive disaster prevention emails, scan the registration QR code shown with your cell phone or tablet, or enter the displayed email address directly and send an email. Then follow the registration instructions in the reply. Be aware that registration is split into 2 phases. The first thing that comes is strong shaking. The most important thing to do is to ensure you protect yourself and make sure not to be injured. It's important to try to move to the safest place you can based on where you are at that moment. But if this is difficult, take shelter somewhere, like under a strong desk. The same applies outdoors. A concrete block wall may collapse, or signs may fall, so stay away from places with such things. If you get an earthquake early warning, then you can take action before the shaking, and it is important to take these actions immediately. If you are able to protect yourself without getting hurt, then the next step is to evacuate accordingly based on where you are. If you are near the coast or along a river, tsunamis are a danger, so try to escape to a place as high above sea level as possible, ideally to high ground. On the other hand, if you are near steeply sloping land where there is a high likelihood of sediment disasters, or along valleys, you must evacuate away from these areas as quickly as possible. If you feel violent shaking, be sure to first protect your head. Take shelter under a table or anywhere safe. Keep an eye out for earthquake early warnings on the TV or radio.
After the quake is over, make sure to put out all fires, close the main valve of the gas line, and turn off the electrical breaker.
In areas at risk of tsunami, escape to high ground, tsunami evacuation mounds, tsunami evacuation buildings, or towers immediately. The next step is evacuating to a safe place. During the Great East Japan earthquake, some citizens put themselves in more danger by evacuating to evacuation areas within the anticipated disaster area of the tsunami. When evacuating to protect your life, be sure to escape to emergency evacuation sites rather than to evacuation areas. Hamamatsu has a large area, so the types of disasters vary by location. Beware of landslides in mountainous regions, ground liquefaction around large rivers or lakes, and tsunamis along the coast. In concentrated residential areas, watch out for collapsing buildings and spreading fires. Information will not necessarily come out right away. It is critical that each individual be able to think for themselves and determine the best action to take based on disaster conditions. Try to accurately obtain official information using methods such as listening to radio or TV broadcasts. Recently, it is possible to get accurate information from the websites of governmental offices. Both smartphones or computers can be used to view the sites. I want people to accurately obtain disaster information. There is a lot of information on social networking services, such as Twitter, but not all of the information there is accurate. It is very important for each individual to be able to determine which information is good and not to overly depend on other people for information.
After an earthquake, everyone wants accurate information as soon as possible. Mr. Go, what should we do to get it?
Let me separate this into two categories. Firstly, disaster prevention and disaster information during and right after a large earthquake. Secondly, safety confirmation information after the disaster. For disaster prevention and disaster information, you can use radio, TV, and disaster prevention wireless systems. Information from the national government, Japan Meteorological Agency, Shizuoka Prefecture, and Hamamatsu City will be broadcast via radio on NHK SBS, K-Mix, FM Haro, and more. In addition, information from Hamamatsu City will be broadcast by FM Haro, with which the city has an agreement with for when disasters occur. The next is TV. You can receive information via 1seg TV on cell phones and via car TVs, even if there is a power outage. TV datacasting can also be very helpful.
Please make use of emergency alert information on your cell phones. You can receive earthquake early warnings, tsunami information, evacuation information, etc.
You can find the displayed disaster information on the internet at the Hamamatsu City website.
Hamamatsu City Disaster Prevention Memo. After massive disasters such as earthquakes or tsunamis, necessary foreign language information will be broadcast from the Disaster Multilingual Support Center established at the Hamamatsu Intercultural Center. Please refer to the Facebook page for HICE, Hamamatsu Foundation for International Communication and Exchange, during any disaster.
The next step is receiving safety confirmation information. You should assume that you will not be able to use regular landline phones or cell phones to make calls for 2 to 3 days after a large earthquake due to communication restrictions.
Is that so?
What comes in handy at those times is the NTT Disaster Voicemail Service, known as Disaster Emergency Message Dial 171. That is provided during disasters such as earthquakes of intensity 6 lower or greater.
録音される方は1、再生される方は2。
This service can be used from public phones or phones installed in evacuation areas to confirm the safety and location of your family members. After 2 to 3 days, when the phone network comes back up, the disaster message boards provided by the cell phone carriers will also be handy. These are message board services that use the internet, where you can add up to 10 or so messages. Otherwise, if your household has children or disaster emergency message dial, it is reassuring if even just the children use a social networking service. It may be helpful during emergencies to already be connected to your neighbors on social networking services.
What should we do in situations where we can't even use our cell phones? You must decide in advance on meetup places for your family and co-workers. As long as you stay alive, you can certainly be reunited. One more thing, we have to take care not to be misled by rumors or false information.
Please find correct information and make the right judgments.
Hamamatsu City Disaster Prevention Memo. Although it may be difficult to make calls or send emails during a disaster, cell phones will help you to collect information. However, they are useless if your batteries are dead. It would be reassuring if you made sure to have a battery-powered or a wind-up charger.
So far, we've seen what we can do to look out for your own life in 3 different situations: now, during, and after. I want you to make use of the following to bring your self-assistance to the next level. So, everyone, please make good use of this booklet and prepare for emergencies. What? You don't have one? Well, what should you do then?
For those who don't have a copy yet, you can download it from the Hamamatsu City website, or get one at the Crisis Management Division of City Hall or at the Ward Promotion Division of your local ward office. Please, make good use of it. This evacuation action plan contains additional important information not shown in this film on how to deal with situations such as when there is a fire or when someone is injured and needs first aid.
Finally, using this booklet, I really want you to do the next 3 things.
Think out your emergency evacuation sites and routes. Please think about these with your family and make sure to write them down on the disaster prevention map so you don't forget. It's important to come up with not only one, but several evacuation routes. Put your disaster prevention map up in a prominent place. Please put your disaster prevention map up in a place that is easy to see and safe even during a disaster. Make your own disaster prevention card. Each family member should keep a disaster prevention card in their bag or wallet with their name and evacuation sites written down on it.
All right, everyone. Once you're fully prepared for self-assistance, it's time for mutual assistance. In other words, helping each other out. The spirit of mutual assistance is truly important during a disaster. It is also important to be prepared within your local community for disasters by participating in evacuation drills and emergency drills. Exactly. It is your everyday preparations that will save your life.